Young and the Restless, spoilers full. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It is a beautiful Tuesday, and we have so much to unpack today. Grab your coffee or whatever you need to get through this, because we are diving deep into the absolute chaos that just went down in Genoa City. Let's get right into it. And honestly, I don't even know where to begin with this one. I am still sitting here staring at my screen, just shaking my head. So Tracy Abbott, sweet, innocent, always trying to see the good in people, Tracy Abbott. We all knew she was taking a massive risk by reaching out to Martin Laurent. We all screamed at our televisions, right? But the writers really went there. They really made her fall for it. So Martin sits down with Tracy, and he plays the ultimate sympathy card. He looks her right in the eyes, maybe sheds a fake tear or two, and confesses that he wants to be a good person now. He wants to turn his life around. And Tracy, bless her heart, she actually buys it. I mean, come on. Come on. This is Martin we are talking about. The guy is a literal psychopath. But Tracy just eats it up because she wants to believe in redemption. But maybe I'm being too harsh on Tracy. Okay, that sounded dramatic, but you get what I mean. She's the moral compass of the Abbott family. She always has been. It's in her DNA to look for the good in people, even the absolute worst people. But still, after everything Martin has done, after all the terror, the fans on social media are absolutely losing their minds over this. I saw a tweet earlier that said Tracy Abbott needs a reality check, and honestly, yeah, she really does, because what happens next is just, it's pure insanity. Martin confesses and gives up the location of Dr. Lawrence Markham's secret hideout. He just hands it over. And right there, alarm bells should have been ringing. Ding, ding, ding. It was too easy. It was way too easy. So what does the Abbott family do with this highly sensitive, incredibly dangerous information? Do they call the police? Do they call Paul Williams? Do they call literally anyone with a badge and a gun who is trained to handle psychopaths? Nope, of course not. Because in Genoa City, the police are basically just decorative at this point. So the Abbotts decide to handle it themselves. And you guys, I cannot even begin to describe the visual of what happens next. It is wild. It is so wild. I am still laughing, but also terrified. Jack Abbott is fresh out of the hospital. The man was just stabbed not that long ago. He was literally just fighting for his life, recovering at home with Diane playing nurse. And now he is gearing up for war. The Abbotts form a literal vigilante squad. Jack, Tracy, and Diane. Yes, you heard me right. Jack, Tracy, and Diane Jenkins Abbott are gearing up. They are packing weapons. Guns, knives, bats. I am not making this up. The writers actually had the Abbott family arm themselves like they are starring in a low-budget action. Let's just pause and visualize this for a second. Jack Abbott, patriarch of the family, CEO, fresh out of a hospital bed, probably holding a gun or a baseball bat. Diane, who has been completely paralyzed by paranoia and PTSD from being ambushed by Markham before, is grabbing a knife. And Tracy, sweet Tracy with a baseball bat, or maybe she had the gun. It doesn't even matter who had what. The whole thing is just so absurdly hilarious, but also terrifying. What were they thinking? Who actually believes this is going to end well? They are cosmetics executives, not Navy SEALs. And I get it. I really do. They are desperate. Diane has been living in absolute terror, jumping at shadows, terrified that Markham is going to jump out of the bushes at any second. Jack is traumatized from the whole Patty Williams blackmail situation. They are pushed to the absolute edge of their sanity. But arming yourselves and driving out to a secret hideout based on the word of a known psychopath, it's just bad writing. Well, no, maybe it's not bad writing. Maybe it's just characters acting out of pure desperation. I keep changing my mind on this, but it feels so incredibly reckless. So they drive out to this location. The tension in the car must have been insane. Diane clutching a knife, looking out the window, terrified of every shadow. Jack gripping the steering wheel, wincing in pain because, hello, he was just in the hospital. And Tracy probably sitting in the back seat, praying that Martin was telling the truth and that her faith in humanity wasn't about to get them all killed. They get to the hideout. It's exactly what you would expect. Creepy, isolated, completely sketchy. The kind of place you see in a horror movie where the audience screams at the screen telling the characters not to go inside, but they get out of the car. They grip their weapons. They are ready to take down Markham and tie him up. That was the master plan. To tie him up with what? Did they bring rope? Did they buy zip ties at the hardware store on the way? I have so many questions that the show just glosses over. But whatever. They walk up to the house. They walk right in. They just walked right in. No scouting the perimeter, no calling for backup, no checking for traps. Just three angry, traumatized Abbotts walking right into the lion's den. And the house is quiet. Too quiet. They start looking around, checking corners, holding up their bats and guns. Diane is probably hyperventilating at this point. Jack is trying to be the protective husband and brother, acting tough even though he's probably still in physical pain. And then, bam, the doors slam shut. Heavy, thick steel doors. They rush to the entrance, but it's too late. You hear the heavy locks clicking into place. Click, click, click. And suddenly, the Abbotts are trapped. They are completely locked in. And this is the moment where my jaw literally dropped. Because outside the house, outside, standing in the shadows, are Martin and Markham. And they are laughing. They are literally pointing at the house and laughing their heads off. It was a trap. The whole thing, a massive, perfectly executed trap. Martin never wanted to be good. He never wanted redemption. He played Tracy like a cheap fiddle. He knew exactly what he was doing, and he executed it flawlessly. He knew exactly which buttons to push. He knew Tracy's ultimate weakness is her empathy, and he used it to lure the entire Abbott leadership right into Markham's. And Markham, the guy is a total monster. He is standing there laughing with Martin, telling him that the Abbotts are going to be killed. They are going to die in that steel box. It is chilling. It is so dark for Y&R, but honestly, it's exactly the kind of high-stakes drama we've been begging for. We wanted real stakes, and, well, we definitely got them. But let's talk about the logistics of this trap for a second, because my brain won't let it go. Markham and Martin had to have planned this for days, maybe weeks. They retrofitted a house with steel doors just for this moment. That takes money, time, and serious psychopathic dedication. And the Abbotts just walked right into it. They didn't even question why the front door was conveniently unlocked. They didn't question why there were no guards or why the place was totally abandoned. They just walked in blindly because they were blinded by rage and fear. It is a classic soap opera blunder, but it still hurts to watch characters you love act so stupidly. So now what? The Abbotts are locked in a steel bunker. Jack is still recovering from major injuries. If he doesn't get his rest or his meds, his health could completely crash. Diane is already on the verge of a mental breakdown. Being locked in a dark room is going to trigger every single piece of trauma she has from Maju's last ambush. She is going to spiral, and she is going to spiral hard. And Tracy is going to be consumed by guilt. She is going to blame herself for this entire thing. She's going to sit there in the dark, realizing that her belief in Martin's goodness is what doomed her family. That is going to absolutely break her heart, and it breaks my heart just thinking of it. And who is going to save them? Let's look at the board right now. Ashley. Ashley is completely feral and unhinged because Patty Williams and Markham kidnapped Abby and Dominic. She is dealing with her own primal breakdown. She doesn't have time to look for Jack. Kyle? Kyle is currently making dangerous deals with Patty in jail and sparking up a highly controversial secret romance with Victoria Newman. Kyle is completely distracted. He has no idea his parents and his aunt are locked in a death trap. He is busy playing with fire at Newman Enterprises. Billy? Billy is drowning in regret because his terrible behavior caused Sally Spectra to get into a car crash and suffer a miscarriage. Billy is a mess right now. He is spiraling into his own dark place. He is not in any position to lead a rescue mission, so the Abbotts are completely isolated. Nobody knows where they are. Nobody knows they went after Markham. They didn't leave a note. They didn't tell anyone. This is the fundamental flaw of vigilante justice in soap opera. You always need to leave a note or send a text, just something. The fans are going crazy theorizing about how they get out. Some people think Victor Newman is going to find out and save them just to hold it over Jack's head forever. I mean, can you imagine Victor rescuing Jack from a steel bunker? Jack would rather stay in the bunker and rot than owe Victor his life. But honestly, Victor is busy plotting against Sally's company and dealing with Nikki's tragic blindness. He doesn't care about the Abbotts right now. He has his own massive family drama to deal with. It really feels like the writers have backed the Abbotts into a corner, and I am here for it. I am so tired of the Abbotts always winning easily or getting bailed out at the last second. They need to suffer a bit, okay? Maybe not die in a steel box, but they need to face the real consequences of their reckless actions. You don't just grab a baseball bat and a kitchen knife and go hunting for a serial killer. That is not how life works, even in Genoa City. And what is Markham's ultimate end game here? He has Abby and Dominic held hostage somewhere else. He has Jack, Diane, and Tracy locked in a steel trap. He is basically collecting Abbotts like trading cards. Is he going to blow up the house? Is he going to starve them out? Is he going to broadcast their suffering to Ashley to torture her even more? Martin and Markham are a terrifying duo because they have absolutely nothing to lose. They don't care about money. They don't care about corporate power. They just want chaos and pain. And right now, they are winning big time. I keep thinking about Diane in that room. She was so paranoid before. She couldn't even sleep in her own bed without fearing Markham was there. Now she is locked in his literal cage. The psychological torture of that is going to be immense. Susan Walters is going to act the heck out of these scenes. I just know it. She is going to give us Emmy-worthy panic attack. And Peter Bergman, Jack trying to stay strong, trying to protect his wife and sister while his own body is failing him. It's going to be brilliant television. The acting is going to carry these scenes, even if the logic of how they got there is a little flawed. But seriously, Tracy. We need to talk about Tracy again. I am so mad at her, but I also feel so bad for her. Beth Maitland is a treasure, and she plays the heartbreak so well. When she realizes Martin lied to her face, that he used her pure heart as a weapon against her family, it's going to destroy her faith in humanity. And maybe that's what the writers want. Maybe they want to break Tracy to show just how dark things have gotten in Genoa City. If Tracy Abbott loses her hope, then the whole town is basically doomed. We are heading into some seriously dark territory, you guys. Between Nick's violent rage over Matt Clark, Sally's tragic miscarriage, Nikki's terrifying blindness, and now the Abbott family locked in a literal death trap, Y&R is not holding back this month. It is messy, it is chaotic, and it is absolutely addictive. I am going to be glued to my screen all week. I need to know how they get out of this. If they get out of this, we know they won't actually die, but the trauma is going to be permanent. So let's wrap this up before I start rambling even more. The Abbotts thought they were the hunters, but they were the prey all along. Martin and Markham outsmarted them at every single turn. Now they are trapped behind steel doors with no way out, no cell service probably, and nobody looking for them. It is the perfect trap, and I hate to say it, but they walked right into it with their eyes wide open. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Are they going to survive this without major injuries? Who is going to save them? Will Kyle figure it out before it's too late? I'll be back tomorrow with more updates if my blood pressure can handle it. See you guys then.